Hi there and welcome back to my channel. This is the second of the 6-part series to my trip to Yangshuo, Guilin, China. In the first video, I let you in on some general information about traveling within China, as well as my 6-day itinerary. If you haven't watched it yet, don't forget to check it out. We traveled from Hong Kong West Kowloon Station to Guilin West Station via high-speed rail. The whole journey was approximately 3 hours and 15 minutes. We arrived an hour before our departure time and we were so glad we did. Hong Kong West Kowloon High-Speed Rail Station is the only point in Hong Kong where you cross the border to mainland within Hong Kong. Your ticket is tied to your travel document, be it your passport or your Hong Kong and Macau permit. Therefore, a quick tip is to keep your travel documents handy. I made the mistake of putting my ID back deep into my backpack and found myself fishing for it several times. We booked business class seats. Unlike planes, business class is a higher tier than first class. We had lounge access and an attendant letting us know when we should leave for our train. The lounge was relatively easy to find since you can just follow the signs. The service is really rudimentary. We had coffee and some cookies, and that was pretty much it. In mainland China, you get special access to the train station, where an attendant will lead you to the station. The staff in Hong Kong let us know that they don't have the capability to do that yet. We traveled via business class back from Guilin to Hong Kong, so you can have a look at what the lounge and service looks like in my Day 5 video. Stay tuned. The security line was long even though it was a weekday in late November, and it was not even peak travel season. There were tons of school children in line, so be prepared to line up. As mentioned in my previous video, train tickets can be booked via 12306 or trip.com. Business class seats differ train to train. I liked this configuration much better than the one we took on our trip back. It's a 1-1 configuration featuring a lie-flat chair, a reading light, a folding table, charging outlets, shades, and some snacks. Unfortunately, my charging outlet not only didn't work, it actually drained my phone. I thought it was a setting problem, but turns out another family member also had the same problem. It worked for my spouse though, so you may want to make sure you have a power bank handy instead. Speaking about power banks, they didn't check whether my power bank has the 3C logo on it. I believe you need to have a 3C logo power bank if you need to travel by plane to and within China, but not on other modes of transport. Business class tickets include a meal service as well as drinks. The attendant came by and asked us what meals we would like to order. The menu says that the meals are available during breakfast, lunch, and dinner hours. Since we had dietary restrictions, we ordered our own food on 12306 to have them delivered to our seats instead. There really weren't a lot of options for vegetarians, but we were lucky to find a couple of food items that were vegetarian. Our meals arrived in Guangzhou Nan Station. You can order your meals for another person on your app. We ordered a meal to our family member who was seated at another carriage. One interesting fact was that we were sitting facing the rear on the first half of the video, which I actually enjoyed. Halfway through, the attendant realized that our seats were not turned the right way, so she rotated our seats halfway through our trip. The toilet was shared between business class and first class. Some carriages have squat toilets, but this is a seated one. A lot of toilets in China don't have hand soap. You might want to bring your own travel soap. Most places have toilet paper, and in some toilets, they are placed in a communal area and you need to bring a few squares into the booths. Back to the train. We arrived at Guilin in no time. It was a very smooth and enjoyable ride. I loved watching the scenery unfold before me. The trains are very punctual, so leave ample time to travel. One downside to traveling by a high-speed rail is the lack of luggage space, especially in other carriages, so pack only essentials. A lot of Chinese hotels now provide complimentary laundry service, so you can make good use of that and bring as few pieces of clothing as possible. We booked a 7-seater on Didi to our hotel, the LS Hotel Yangshuo. Now, here's a warning. The driver asked us to change our destination to somewhere close by the train station and asked us to pay the remaining fee directly to him. Because he was nice and friendly, we obliged. But we later realized that not only is it illegal, it can actually be dangerous. The truth is, the moment you complete that app trip, you are no longer covered by the platform's commercial insurance. You're also off-grid, so to speak. No GPS tracking within the app, no emergency button, no recourse. If this happens to you, stand your ground and say no. File a complaint or call 12345 or the police if necessary. Throughout the journey, he kept touting his chauffeur service. I don't believe it's legal, and you wouldn't be covered by his insurance if you took up his service. You can book licensed charter car services by the day via legitimate sites like Klook, Trip.com, or Meituan. I just came across a post on Reddit by someone detailing their experience of being scammed by a taxi driver, contacted the police, and having the incident resolved in 4 days by receiving their scammed money by the taxi company. If you need to, don't hesitate to contact the police. We stayed at the LS Hotel, which we booked on C-Trip. Actually, before we even left for our trip, they reached out through the app to set up a WeChat group chat. They were already checking in our arrival time and seeing if we needed transport. They provide a free shuttle to and from Xijie or West Street, a famous pedestrian area known for its shopping and nightlife, as well as a nearby train station. I didn't quite catch which station it was, so be sure to ask the staff if you decide to book a stay with them. Service-wise, the software of the hotel, they were top-notch. Friendly, meticulous, and just really helpful. Now for the honest review of the hardware. While the surroundings and the hotel facade were nothing to write home about, the view of the hotel leaves nothing to be desired. The view from the room was spectacular. We booked the room with the rotating bed, which had a balcony overlooking a small pond. Wow, just look at that view. Let's drink it all in for a minute. The room was clean and well maintained. The mini bar was included in the room rate, including fresh fruit, half an hour with a photographer, an afternoon tea set, and a Chinese dessert sent to our room at night. Our butler also sent us a one-night stay itinerary. We also got slippers and standard vanity kits. After settling in, we went down to the lobby to have an afternoon tea, which included nuts, cake, and a pot of tea. Having afternoon tea against this jaw-dropping backdrop was simply spectacular. Later, we hung out in our room for a little bit before heading to Impressions Liu Sanjie, an outdoor show produced by the famous director Zhang Yimou. The stage is set directly upon the waters of Li River, framed by 12 karst peaks that created the world's largest natural theater. Remember to leave ample time to collect physical tickets even if you booked tickets online. The stage was a few hundred meters away from the entrance, with some cultural performances and performers in costumes for pictures along the way. We arrived an hour before the show at around 6:30 and found the time to be just right, giving us plenty of time to explore the area. We bought the more expensive seats at the top because after consulting AI, I was told that the expansive stage meant the further back you are, the better the view. We regretted it. The show itself was, well, let's just say it wasn't exactly for us. Do I recommend it? It really depends on your schedule and what you're into. If you've never seen a massive production in China and you love the arts, go for it. But honestly, there is absolutely no need to shell out for those VIP tickets. We went to another show in Yangshuo on day 3, so check out that video for a review and perhaps a comparison between the two shows. Here are some highlights from the show. The show was about an hour long, and afterwards, we took a Didi to see Jie at West Street for dinner. Even at 9 p.m., the street was still hustling and bustling, with tons of hawker stalls lining the road alongside clothing stores and drugstores. China isn't always the most dietary restriction-friendly place in terms of how menus are written, but you can definitely ask them to tweak the dish for you. Our dinner was nice and cost us about 50 RMB per person, roughly $8. As I've mentioned before, if you know your way around the Meituan app, you can find some incredible value with their meal deals and vouchers. To be honest, I'm still figuring it out myself, so if you have any Meituan tips and tricks, please share them in the comments below. Well, that was pretty much it for us. I'm sure there are plenty more to explore in terms of nightlife, like the famous massage parlors or KTV if that's up your alley. But for us, we were ready for bed. I'll see you in my next video.